Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson. Just a quick bit of housekeeping. If you've been missing the last two videos because you were expecting them to arrive in your YouTube subscriptions inbox, please don't be disappointed. I've actually been posting them on Facebook, so what I'll do is later on I'll post them onto YouTube. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, I'm going to be talking about the magic of the diminished seventh chord. Let me just move the camera a bit. So the diminished seventh chord has these very cool properties because it is symmetrical. What does that mean? It basically means that it uses the same interval at every step of its construction. Where a major chord might start with a major third and then a minor third, the diminished chord carries on with minor thirds. So it goes up in minor thirds until it arrives back at where it started. And that's really cool, and it gives it some special properties. It means that if we move around by minor third increments, the same voicing, then it's the same notes but reordered round. Now that's not the only cool thing about the diminished seventh chord. Most people know that bit about it already, but the symmetricalness of it affords it certain magical modulation properties. So we're going to be looking at a few things you can do with a diminished seventh chord in composition, starting with resolving the chords to major triads. So there's your chords. This is the bottom note. What we're going to do is we're going to move the bottom note up one fret, so one semitone, but we're going to do it so that that note is a chord tone of a major triad, any chord tone. So let's try moving it onto the root of a major triad. Okay, that sounds cool. Let's try it on the major third. Amazing. Let's try it on the fifth. So they all sound different, but all sound beautiful. Now, because it's symmetrical, you can do that trick with any of the notes in that chord. And just, experiment, play around with moving any of those pitches into the chord tone of a major chord and see which one sort of grips you. So that's not all. There's another related idea which involves moving pitches in the opposite direction, so descending down a semitone. So we can take any of these pitches, descend one of them down by a semitone and arrive at a dominant seventh chord. How cool is that? And that means that when you're here and you arrive at a dominant seventh, that can then be resolved to possibly a distant key. So that's what happens when we move this pitch down. We get to the root position of a dominant seventh chord. If we move this pitch down on this voicing, well, it always goes to the root, but now the chord that we're playing is in second inversion. So it means it starts on the third pitch of the chord. If we move this one down, we end up with a voicing that's in first inversion, which means that it's on the second pitch of the chord, so the major third. And then, if we go back to our original shape and move the top further down, we get to this chord, which is a dominant seventh in last inversion, so the bottom note is actually the seventh. And this can resolve beautifully to many different places. So the minor chords, I always try with both major and minor, it sounds absolutely wonderful. Obviously I don't want to limit your creativity in this, you can try lots of different things. And that's not the last thing we'll talk about. Actually what we'll say is that if you take any of these chords and take any pitch from this voicing and move it up a semitone, then you end up with a half-whole diminished chord, or a half diminished chord. So not half whole diminished chord. You end up with a minor 7 flat 5, or an inversion of that. So that means that if you go can start a 2-5-1, a minor 2-5-1, or just an idea. But remember as well that a half diminished chord is very similar to an inverted dominant chord. So this could get you there. If that sounds a little bit complicated for you, or don't understand how that works, don't worry. There's quite a lot of stuff you can find out about that sort of theoretically online. But it's just something to experiment with if you haven't done so before. It's really good fun. So those are the sort of things you can do, and again, this is mainly useful when you're modulating, and I'll try to sort of give you an example. Let's establish a key of A, and let's get to this dominant chord, which we've all heard before. Well, we can get there, of course we can, but if we then go, oh dear, if we do that, we can get to B flat minor if we wanted to. So, and this could get us to all kinds of distant places and create some really exciting resolutions of that tension. You can scale it back if you, like I say, it's not as strong sounding sometimes. If you have, if you're playing with this sound here, it really wants to go to this chord, but we can go move a pitch and then go to the tritone. So let's do that quickly. And you can hear how just using that chord as a very brutal pivot, you can get to very distant places very quickly. So in that instance, it became a half diminished in a 2-5-1 to E flat. And when bearing in mind we started in A, that's pretty cool. I want you to go away and experiment with these, and maybe post your favourite sequence using this trick in a response video, or in the comment. You can maybe describe it in Roman numerals if you have that that level of understanding. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please check out my Indiegogo page. We're at 84% with 5 days left to go. It's been an incredible response so far, but I'm still looking for support and for people to pre-order the album so we can reach that target. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow with another lesson. Cheers.